The cold that night did not feel ordinary. It felt heavy, unforgiving, like the world itself had turned its back on anyone left outside. Snow fell endlessly from a dark sky, covering the empty road and swallowing every sound. On the edge of that frozen silence sat a small child, her thin coat no match for the biting wind, her tiny arms wrapped tightly around a trembling puppy pressed against her chest. The two of them huddled together for warmth, unaware that this night would change their lives forever. If you believe that kindness and second chances still exist in this world, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this remind us how powerful a single act of compassion can be. The child had wandered farther than she realized. What began as an attempt to follow the puppy, who had slipped away earlier in the evening, turned into hours of being lost in the growing storm. Snow covered the ground so quickly that familiar paths disappeared, leaving only white emptiness in every direction. Her hands were numb, her breathing shallow, but she refused to let go of the small animal shivering in her arms. The puppy trusted her completely, and that trust gave her just enough strength to keep sitting upright, to keep hoping someone would come. The cold crept in slowly, draining warmth and energy, turning minutes into something much longer and heavier. Miles away, a Navy SEAL moved through the storm, his boots sinking deep into the snow with every step. He had been part of a training exercise nearby when the weather suddenly worsened, forcing the team to return early. Years of experience had trained him to notice small things others ignored, a broken line in the snow, faint movement in the distance, something that didn't belong in the frozen landscape. At first, he thought it was debris or an animal sheltering from the wind. But as he moved closer, the shape became clearer, and his pace quickened. The sight of a child alone in conditions like this struck deeper than any mission he had ever faced. The girl was barely conscious when he reached her. Snow had gathered on her shoulders and hair, and the puppy remained curled tightly against her, still trying to keep her warm. The soldier understood immediately how close they both were to losing the fight against the cold. Without hesitation, he wrapped his heavy jacket around the child and lifted her carefully, shielding her from the wind as he began the long walk back. Every step required strength, but this time the mission was not about orders or strategy. It was about protecting life, about refusing to let innocence disappear into the storm. As he walked, memories surfaced, moments from past missions where saving everyone had not been possible. Those memories fueled his determination now. The storm roared around them, visibility fading, but he kept moving forward, guided by instinct and responsibility. The puppy remained tucked safely against the child, occasionally stirring, as if sensing that help had finally arrived. Slowly, painfully, the lights of the base appeared through the snow like a promise breaking through darkness. Warmth, medical care, and safety followed soon after. The child recovered, her strength returning day by day, and the puppy never left her side. For the Navy SEAL, the rescue became something more than a single act of duty. It reminded him why strength existed in the first place, not just to fight, but to protect those who could not protect themselves. The story spread quietly among those who heard it, not as a tale of heroism, but as proof that compassion can still survive even in the harshest conditions. In a world that often feels cold and rushed, moments like this remind us that humanity is defined by the choices we make when someone else needs help the most. One person stopping, one person caring, can rewrite someone else's future entirely. And sometimes, the smallest lives, a child and her puppy, can remind even the strongest warriors what truly matters. Before the story ends, write in the comments where you are watching from, and share one act of kindness you have seen or experienced in your life. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, and share this video so more people can be reminded that kindness still exists, and that even in the coldest moments, someone can step forward and bring warmth back into the world.